Hello and good afternoon. I'm Jason Mann with Jim Check. We're Kelowna Now, live on YouTube and X, and your afternoon headlines.
And it's 4 o'clock.
And it's 4 o'clock.
Right on the dot. So this morning, 9 o'clock on the dot, 4 o'clock on the dot. You can count on us.
That's the goal.
On the dot. First off, we're going to show you a video. Kent and Nick were out again. New Family Connection Center is a game changer for families facing challenges. If Marcy could cue that
And
video.
we're joined by Shane Pitkin, the CEO of the new Family Connection Center in Kelowna, right at the Capri Mall. This is a new model, a new location. Tell us what it's all about.
Well, it's about delivering integrated services for kids and families where the kid has a identified developmental delay or some kind of disability or that sort of thing. And it's a sort of one-stop shop. We have access to, family coaching, family support, family education, behavior consultation, behavior intervention, speech and language pathology, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, inclusive childcare, and youth care for older kids and so forth. So it's a whole suite of services, and so the difference, I guess, is that you can come to this one place rather than having to shop around town and find, whether you're eligible for this service or that service.
All right. Well, that's a great initiative.
If you want to find more on that video, you can go to KelownaNow.com and watch that full video. Man found dead at Lakeside Park in Kelowna. Police are at Sutherland Park following discovery of a body. Reports of the discovery first came in the morning, and Kelowna RCMP officers were dispatched to the scene. Vernon RCMP remind people not to leave idling vehicles unattended after trucks stolen. That seems like a pretty common sense thing.
And not to mention, well, I guess this was Enderby, but in Kelowna we have the idling bylaw. So
the bylaw people would have caught him.
That's right.
The 36th Annual Business Excellence Award celebration takes place Friday, November 17th at the luxurious Delta Hotels by Marriott Grand Okanagan Resort. That sounded like a commercial almost. Eh?
It does, but again, great event. This year's theme, Rise Above, seems appropriate for the challenging times that we've had over the last few years. And
it's an evening dedicated to highlight the success, innovation, and unwavering spirit of our community. I've been to that celebration several times as Nikki was chamber president for several years. She made me go. I would have went willingly, for sure. More news from the BC government. All job postings in BC will need to include wage and salary details. All BC employers will have to include wage and salary information on publicly advertised job postings starting this week. No room to adjust your ads, I guess. The new rules, which are requirements under BC's Pay Transparency Act, go into effect November 1st on Wednesday. The act was passed into law this year and is meant to address the pay gap between men and women across the province. According to Kelly Patton, the Parliamentary Secretary for Gender Equity, people deserve equal pay for equal work.
There you go.
BC United promises immediately cut the carbon tax if elected to government. What do you think of that?
I think we all would appreciate that. Well, maybe not all, although I think there's. I mean,
Kevin Falcon says he would immediately cut the provincial carbon tax on all fuels and stop planned increases if his party wins. I think that's a movement that's going across Canada. I think it's
people want
Atlantic Canada got some relief, and now everybody's thinking, "Where's my relief?"
Yeah.
I think that's the, and I think they're going to have a tough time slowing down that movement because I think a lot of people are feeling a lot of pressure. It's about 15 cents a liter on gasoline and diesel in British Columbia. And he would remove the carbon tax on all home heating fuels, which makes a lot of sense. Like people have to heat their homes, right? They don't have a lot of choice, right?
It's pretty cold in Canada.
I've noticed it snowed every now and then.
The first thing when people from other countries think about us, it's like how cold it is.
Well, my mom immigrated from Canada. I mean, she immigrated during the Hungarian Revolution in 56 or 57. And she was in France when they picked, they were handed out pamphlets. And she picked Canada because she liked the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and the snowbanks. Huh. odd choice, but you know,
They look fun.
she loved Canada.
snowbanks.
Her brother ended up staying behind and joining the French Foreign Legion. So that's quite the tale in itself. And more on the carbon tax. This is from the Bank of Canada governor. Abolishing the federal carbon tax would shrink inflation by 0.6 percentage points. Now, that's a big deal. People say, oh, that's 0.6. But abandoning the federal carbon tax would result in a significant decrease in inflation, the Bank of Canada governors has told the House of Commons. Tiff Macklin has said eliminating the levy would cause a one-time drop in inflation rate of 0.6%. So that would bring Canada's current rate of 3.8 down to 3.2, a 15.8% decline. That would cause them to look at reducing interest rates and all that kind of stuff. Macklin made the statement in response to a question from Conservative MP Philip Lawrence, along with his party is strongly opposed to the carbon tax. In September, the governor said the carbon tax direct effect, that is not including secondary effects such as increased grocery costs due to the more expensive fuel on the inflation rate, was about 0.15 percentage points every year. So
How do they like, they must have a full team of actuarians going and crunching numbers here. But I mean, like,
it's just common sense. Just common sense, right? If energy is an
these
input
actual
and everything.
projections, though, like the actual numbers, 0.6%. Like,
Yeah.
what are the chances if they did it? That would be the actual number.
Probably pretty damn good
You think
stats
so?
work.
Yeah.
Stats work. But it's common sense, though. If the main input in everything is energy, and you keep raising
No,
the price
totally
of
get
energy,
that, yeah.
common sense says it goes up.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. And up and up and up, because it's a gift that keeps on giving.
City unveils task force that will guide the redevelopment of the Kelowna Community Theatre.
Yeah, now this is interesting. I've always felt it was a little bit small. I never imagined that we'd rebuild it, but maybe add another theater to the market. But that's interesting. We were involved with the fundraising efforts to bring in the new seats to the facility. That was a good 20 years ago now, maybe. But you'll see on the back of the seats names. I wonder if they'll keep those seats if they move it forward.
You'd think that'd be a good idea. The Community Task Force on Performing Arts is to provide recommendations to the Council on community-driven partnership opportunities to advance the redevelopment of the Kelowna Community Theatre, said Mayor Tom Dias at the end of the meeting.
There you go. Task force. They're serious. It's going to happen.
And are you ready to rumble? Monster trucks set to roll back into Kelowna in January.
You're going to buy the whole seat, but you're only going to need the edge.
I've been to one of those shows once. That's where a mask would be a good idea. Just to breathe.
Imagine that electric monster trucks.
Electric monster trucks. Now there's a is that like kind of a transformer or what? The show, fan favorite, people that love it. And that's going to be when? January 14th, a 1 p.m. show and a 7 p.m. show on January 13th for wrapping up with a 1 p.m. show. So there's a 1 p.m. show and a 7 p.m. show on January 13th, and then a 1 p.m. show on January 14th. Monster Truck Bonanza. Marcy, are you going? Marcy's back there just,
It's hype.
just
It's
screaming.
high
she's,
energy.
She's in. And we had this story this morning. In case you missed, you can go back and watch because our lives are actually recorded and they stay there. Had to do this one again. Kelowna. In the top-
Congratulations, Kelowna.
Another top 5 or top 10 for Kelowna. I think we're like the highest rents. Like we're in like top 10s of so many things. And this one, top 5 rattiest cities in Canada as BC takes up, and BC takes up half the top spots in top 10.
We have a wonderful climate. They know it. We know it.
I
They
watched
know it.
Ratatouille the other night, actually with my granddaughter. It's pretty good.
It's a good movie. Yeah.
It's a good movie. He's more of a friendly rat.
Well, I was going to say he's a lovable rat even.
I don't know. Wilbur the rat's that lovable. They kind of chew on wires and stuff, don't they?
Oh yeah, that's a rat. Like the word rat is perfect for a rat too. It's like it sounds like what it is. I don't know. Just my thinking.
Tonight, Halloween weather.
Yeah, and it's all brought to you by ATB Wealth. And by the way, thank you to ATB Wealth for dropping off these flowers. And look at the fall colors. It's very.
This is in launch of our beautiful show, I think, right?
It must be. It must be. Thank you, ATV.
They're having sympathy for us on the show. They're saying, hey.
Yeah. So for the kids tonight, trick or treating, it's looking like pretty nice actually. Clear sky, no rain, no snow, just a little chilly, down to around -3 eventually overnight. Bundle them up tight, and
You'll
they'll be good.
have to take some video when you're out there walking the kids and get
will.
some spectacular video from last night.
We're up in Kettle Valley too, so there's hundreds of kids that come down those
We
streets.
get nobody ever really. They come. Sometimes the neighbors' kids come, and that's it. Because they look at the driveways and they're just like, yeah, no, I don't need candy tomorrow that bad.
We're a little off the beaten path too, so we don't hear, but we can hear the hum.
Yeah.
And it's quite.
People like going to like high dense areas. I think is the mall still? Do they still do that where they can take your kids, young ones, to the mall and just walk around the
Yeah,
mall? So Marcy's saying
yeah.
yes. So there you go. So that's a good, safe, warm place to take your kids if you want to get some candies.
But if you're being outdoors, it's actually probably one of the best.
I think
forecasts
Marcy and Nick said they're both going out tonight.
Okay.
You get dressed up. Who can tell, right?
All right.
I might even go out.
I hope you do. Bring back some candy tomorrow. We'll do a candy experiment or something.
Do you check the candy? Do you check each
absolutely.
piece?
Yeah, you know.
How do you check it though?
Well, you have to just look for certain things, and I'm looking at houses, and we're staying close to the home, so we're not going out too
I
far.
think when we trick or treated in Midway, there was a lot of apples back then. Like when apples, you're just like, okay, we don't need the heavy stuff.
Have you ever found anything in anything?
I've never found anything. No.
The-
But cornballs, I've never. I don't know. Like you eat those last, right? Because there used to be like cornballs. Some people would give you, but you'd like that'd be the last thing you'd eat. By the time you get around to eating it, it's pretty bad.
I don't think I've seen too many cornballs lately. It's more of an 80s thing, I think.
I think, and they were huge. They were just like the size of a pumpkin.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to have fun tonight. So before we wrap up, though, if you're enjoying our content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our YouTube and X channels, and, of course, head on over to KelownaNow.com and subscribe to our algorithm-free newsletter that gets delivered to your inbox free of charge every morning at 7 o'clock.
News done a unique way.
Yeah. Different way.
Different,
Yes.
good, different, better.
Stuff that matters, though. Stuff that matters. So thanks for joining us. Have a great night and a safe Halloween.
Happy Halloween.